Here we go. I got notifications on my computer. We are where we were yesterday, and we're doing it all again. And hopefully this mic is better because I like it more, so it should sound better. Just that's how it works. If I like it, it should work better. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I'm not at the police station. That's because I'm on location at the, what is this thing called? Yeah, it is a drug recognition and enforcement conference that's being held in Toronto with police officers from across Canada here, and we are talking about stuff and things. That's kind of what I do. We have it. It's a noisy environment, so I hope that the audio is okay. I also hope that I'm loud enough. If I'm not, please let me know, and I'll do my best to change and update and make better. Chase says, woohoo, I was hoping to get this notification, and you got it. That's because I was hoping to go live at 11, but our schedule here shifted a little bit, and I had an opportunity to talk with my friend from Draeger. Draeger is a company. Hey, look, honey, I got a new coffee mug. My wife is so happy when I bring these things home. Draeger makes the testing equipment that we use for roadside screening devices and our breathalyzers. So very cool stuff. I didn't realize this. They make a home version available for purchase on Amazon. So I just looked at it. It's $250, and you have a system that uses the same technology as what we as police use for screening devices on the road. How cool is that? I want to buy one. I don't drink, and I want to buy one. We've got my wife's response to my new mug, my new travel mug was oh no. Good almost noon from Michael. Morning from the Grinch. Is it still morning? It's morning-ish. Morning from Zombie. Chase wants to know what's in the police bag behind me. I have 3 of these Pelican cases, and that is what I packed up all of the gear that I'm using to do this mobile solution. I didn't plug in, but I should probably plug in and bring Instagram into the, sorry, 1 second here. Just went live. I have bad timing. 1 second here. Okay, 1 second. I want to show you a picture of this before I actually... Okay, I'm going to show you the picture by holding it to the camera. There we go. This is what the system looks like right now. Super exciting, right? It is for me because this is a unique setup. Oh, I didn't bring the wire. Okay, Instagram's... I don't want to go through boxes right now. I don't have audio for Instagram, so we're just not going to talk to them. Sorry, Instagram. Okay. You're right. I quickly changed it to Thursday, and I did not change the date. You're absolutely right. You know what? I would say that I put that on purpose, but I didn't. If you're watching and you want to ask questions, other than to remind me that I made an error, but I appreciate you letting me know. Let me just go through my spiel and tell you that we are broadcasting on a number of platforms right now, live on all of them. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and the platform formerly known as Twitter, now known as X. If you're on any of the platforms other than X, you can ask us questions because we have my magical wife who is moderating and assisting to make sure that your questions that are asked on TikTok are brought over onto the other platform where I can actually see it. Let's see here. After this event, these live streams get uploaded to all podcasting apps, so you can watch or listen depending on how your podcasting experience is managed. Okay. Stephen Bell says, good afternoon. Yes, I acknowledge that this is not our normal situation in terms of timing, but much later than we normally do. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It remains to be seen. Michael says, Sean needs a bot to auto-reply email and text when busy, or Robo-Sean to do all other tasks. I need AI. I think I do need AI. Kyle Kyle says, hello from my work bathroom. I'm very glad that you're able to, that they allow you to use the washroom. That's good. Open my Diet Coke here so I can hydrate. Not the ideal. One thing I'm not seeing here is water. I see soda, coffee, tea. I guess tea, you have the option of very warm water. Let's see here. When is my next information center? Let's see here. I'll leave it back to the chat, but I'm scrolling up ahead. And Kyle, you were successful. I had a good laugh. That was good. It's amazing how many people use their cell phones in the bathroom. The question is how many people wash their cell phones after. Anyway, Terry says, grow some hair. I shave this on a regular basis. The hair grows, but I choose to be more aerodynamic. It is a choice. Let's see here. And my wife says, I actually prefer this look. MJ, question, is it better to have what is this? Is it better to have sound activated on your dash cam in case of collision? You said accident, I say collision. The answer is, at least the answer that I'm going to give you is this. I like having audio on. When I see something happen, I am verbalizing, because it's something that I've become accustomed to doing as a police officer, is that I'm giving I'm stating what I'm seeing. So if I see a green car with a license plate ABC123, and maybe that was something that may or may not have been caught in the camera, I'm going to verbalize it as best I can, because it may not be legible afterwards, and you are not going to remember that afterwards. Oh, if it is ABC123, you probably would. But the reality is you probably won't. So whatever you can do to add evidence, it's good. Now, if it records you, your drunken slur, probably bad for you, but good for me as the officer who's going to take the evidence later. How does grow some hair help in driving in traffic? I don't know, but that's what they wanted to share, and we talk about all sorts of stuff here. If you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Chipper. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff every single day. So please follow, like, subscribe, share, retweet, whatever it is to get the message out, because we want to give more information to more people. And somebody wants to know who's paying for this. That's always a question that I love to discuss. So who's paying for which part exactly? I'm a paid member of the Toronto Police Service. I'm an active member of the police service, and I am being paid as a salaried employee to do what I do. Now, I'm a media relations and social media officer, so obviously I engage people online like this. I also talk to major, actually, you just reminded me, I need to send a link to the radio show. I'm joining a radio show afterwards. See, I'm a little bit all over the place here. Being on location, it is always fun. I'm going to send a link shortly. Reply all. Sorry, 1 second. We'll send you a link. Link shortly. All right. At least I responded. So yeah, I'm being paid by the service as a police officer to do what I do, and this education is part of what we do. Traffic safety is a complex topic. A lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people don't care about it, but it's really important, and education is so involved in what we want to do, which is preventative. We want to get people educated so they don't break the law, so they don't hurt people, and enforcement comes after. If you break the law, we'll obviously be there to charge you, but if we could teach you about the law and maybe even convince you that following it is a good idea, well, then we might not only prevent you from getting the tickets and the insurance premium hikes, but we'll also keep people safer. Speaking of keeping people safe, let me open up and look at Twitter for a second, because that's where we post where Vision Zero is going every day. Oh, wrong browser. Twitter. All right, profile. Here we go. By the way, you can follow us at Traffic Services on Twitter if you'd like to get updates every day as to where the Vision Zero enforcement team is going to be. Now, the Vision Zero enforcement team is a group of dedicated officers that go out to different areas of the city every single day, and they're doing that to change driver behavior one ticket at a time. They want to stop people who are choosing to speed, drive aggressively, drive distracted, or drive impaired, and they do a great job of it. In fact, they write a tremendous number of tickets. They're not inventing these activities. They're catching people doing what they're doing, and they're educating them through enforcement. Because hopefully, the goal of a ticket being issued is that it changes you. It feels bad. It may even increase your insurance rates. And then maybe you'll make better choices next time. Now, today being the 28th of September, despite what it says in the description of the show, it's the 28th of September, and our Vision Zero enforcement officers are focused on that activity in 13 Division and 33 Division. So we're talking about Yorkdale, Glen Park, Briar Hill, Witchwood, Oakwood, Vaughan, Parkwoods, Donalda, Bayview Village, York Mills, neighborhoods where real people live, work, and play and deserve to be safe. And I'm very often asked why on earth we are telling people where we're doing this magical enforcement. Well, we're not really telling the violators where we are, although you're welcome to look at our website too. They're probably not that interested or focused on traffic safety, just saying. What we are doing is telling people who live in those neighborhoods that are following their hashtags that we're there and we're there to help them because they are the ones that we are working to protect. And it's not just about those activities. We are going to be in different areas of the city all day and every day. And aside from our Vision Zero officers, there are the local divisional officers who are there working specifically on the goals of that neighborhood. So all in all, we're doing great work all over the city. Oh, interesting. That's not charging. Why is it not charging? Hang on. It says charging, but it's not charging. Oh, well, I guess I don't have to plug this in. Happy days. Someone following up on the, are you getting paid right now? Yes, because I'm at work. I'm at a conference, but myself and the 300 people in the room watching the speaker speak are all getting paid. We get paid to work. And this is work. Michael says, I appreciate your service and thank you very much. I appreciate your appreciation for the service that I provide. I appreciate you. What do we got here? We got scrolled over some things. Oh. Michael has an interesting question. On a traffic stop, if an officer left his computer open with the driver's info, is it illegal to film that if I'm just walking by on the street? Why on earth would you be sticking your face into somebody else's machine and recording sensitive data? Now, is it a good idea for us to leave it open when there's other people around? No, because we're going to be, trying to prevent that personal information from being visible. Is it illegal? Could you be charged for it? I don't think you can be charged for it. Is it unethical for you to do that? Sure. Are we responsible for protecting everybody's information? Yes. But I don't know if there's anything beyond that. Do officers go to court while on duty or overtime on days off? Both. We go to court on duty and on our own time for overtime. Why are cars getting stolen at a high rate? Probably because there's a lot of criminals who want to make money by stealing cars. Criminals are busy trying to make money. And that's not an excuse, but that's what they're doing, right? That's their business. It's an illegal business, but it's a business nonetheless. And unfortunately, we are the victims of their business. And I say we the victims because we're all paying for it. Whether you get your car stolen or my insurance rates go up because your car gets stolen, we're all paying for it. So, for the people that are stealing cars, we don't like you very much. And I look forward to you getting caught. Yeah. And we are working to catch these organizations, dismantle criminal organizations all the time. Greetings and salutations from Aquila Draconis. Okay. So questions about the next information session. What I would suggest that you do is go over to tps.ca/careers and contact a recruiter. Make contact. That is the best thing you can do. Make some contact. Develop a relationship with a recruiter. They will get you in the know. And that is what it's all about. You want to make contact and be able to ask those questions. I don't have an answer for you specifically. However, go to the website, read everything you can read, and then next step is contact a recruiter. That's why, what is this? Scrolling back. Scrolling. Aerodynamics confused me because, what is this? Oh, yes, I'm messing with people's schedules by starting late. Can I smoke while driving? So question is, depends on what you're smoking. If you're driving alone and you're not in a work vehicle, can you consume tobacco products when you're driving? Yes, as long as nobody under the age of 16 is in the car and it's not a work vehicle. If you're talking about drugs like cannabis, then no, you can't have it, you cannot consume it in a motor vehicle. Certainly not while you're driving. Okay. What is this question? Chase says, under the fail to stop, let's bring this and make it bigger. Under fail to stop on right for emergency vehicle, it says you have to pull over for public utility vehicles with flashing red lights. What is an example of a public utility vehicle? I'd have to reread that to look at it. I'm not familiar with it saying utility vehicle or under what situation, because you don't pull over for a Hydro One truck. So I don't know. I have to open that up and read the rules. Let's see here. Failed to stop on right for emergency vehicle. Let me pull it. Since I'm not streaming on the Instagram, I can actually look that up. Assuming your wording is failed to stop on right. Now, it says here, the way it reads is, the driver of a vehicle upon the approach of a police department vehicle with its bell or siren sounding or with its lamp producing intermittent flashes of red or red and blue light, or upon the approach of an ambulance, fire department vehicle, or public utility emergency vehicle with its bell or siren sounding or its lamp producing intermittent flashes of red light shall immediately bring such a vehicle. I don't know what example that would be. Maybe like, well, it's not a utility vehicle. What emergency vehicle would they? I'm gonna have to go look into it. I don't know. I've never paid attention where it said public utility vehicle, and it's only because you are here that I will now do so. Okay. Scrolling back, lots of stuff coming in. If you're just jumping into the channel, please like, subscribe, follow, share. Much appreciated if you do. Tracy and Emma, good day to you both. As I switch back, not good day, like I'm not going anywhere, but I'm saying good day, hello. Bum, bum, bum. Oh no, too many scrolls. Question. Maybe there's an answer. We just talked about this. Please, when is the next information session for Toronto before doing my OACP? Again, contact employment for that. They're the best source, for that. Little hiccup going on there. How many people are allowed in the car if you have a G2? So first off, if you have a G2, there's 3 stages. There's G2 without conditions for the numbers of people, and then there's G2 in the first 6 months and second 6 months that you have it. Some people have it for 5 years. Some people have it for longer. If you have a G2 and you just got it, the first 6 months you can have no more than one person under the age of 20 in your vehicle. Is it 20? I keep messing this up. Is it 19 or 20? I think it's under the age of 20, which would make them 19. Hang on. G2. Yeah, it's under the age of 20. So it's 19 years old or under. You're limited to one person between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m. And that is only for the first 6 months. In the second 6 months, it goes up to 3 people under the age of 20 between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m. That excludes persons who are part of your immediate family. Like if you were transporting your little brothers around you and you had 4 of them and there were enough seatbelts in the car, then you could have them in there, even though they're in the age group that would be restricted. Their family, they're exempt. Immediate family. Not your cousins, uncles, aunts, brother, once removed. It's immediate family. What is this? Please explain how someone going like 50 over in downtown Toronto gets the same penalty for someone alone in a parking lot sliding in fresh snow. Such a different amount of risk. Okay, they're both stunt driving though. So stunt driving for 50 over, or someone who is drifting in a parking lot or a road, or someone who is doing donuts, or someone who is displaying a marked departure and cutting through lanes to pass traffic, or like someone doing wheelies. It doesn't matter where it's being done. Yes, there is different amounts of risk, but they're all equally illegal. In fact, if you're doing it in a high-risk area, for instance, you're doing donuts or burnouts or drifting in a parking lot and there are people standing there, I might forego the stunt or maybe charge you a stunt and then also charge you with criminal dangerous driving. So there's a lot of different options. We're not just stuck to the one. Let's see here. We got that. Look at this. 2 officers, we covered this. Covered that. Is front license plate mandatory in Ontario? I keep seeing cars without them. It is absolutely mandatory. $110 ticket if you are not displaying your front plate. You're issued 2 of them. You got to have 2 of them. And if you continuously take the tickets because you're getting caught, but you're taking the ticket and you just pay it, well, eventually I'm just going to escalate, or the officer's going to escalate that to a summons to send you to court, because if you can't figure out how to follow the law, you need to explain that to a justice of the peace or judge, depending on where you are. What's the fastest you can go on the 400 series highway before you get pulled over? That's going to depend on the officer, but for me, it would be over the posted speed limit. You cannot go legally over the posted speed limit. So if you're doing 1 over, could you get charged? Sure. Would that affect your insurance? Yeah. It's a speeding ticket. Speeding, it happens at 1 kilometer or more over the speed limit, actually any speed over the posted speed limit. The number of dollars taken out of your account when you pay the ticket depends on how many kilometers over the posted speed limit. Some people think it's okay to do 20. Some people think it's okay to do 30. Those people are wrong. It's not okay to speed at all whatsoever. Do I need insurance between my G2 and G if I don't own a car, practicing with driver, or zip car? You need to have insurance if you have a car that you are insuring. You don't get insurance for you. You get insurance for the vehicle that you own and drive. So no, you don't need to have any insurance unless you have a car. If you're using somebody else's car, they have insurance. Now, if you are using the car of a person you live with, or if somebody, or if you're regularly using a car, then you should be added to a policy as an occasional driver to ensure that you're protected. But when it comes to, do you have to have insurance? Can you have a period of being not insured? You can, but it could. You're not developing a relationship when you're uninsured. I say that because let's say you go for 2 years with no insurance policy, as opposed to being a secondary driver on somebody else's car for those 2 years, your insurance rates will be higher at the end of the 2 years than if you were to have maintained insurance of some level. So it's a good idea, just like developing credit, developing an insurance history is a good idea. That's a good question. Let me flag some other ones. Motorcycles allowed in the G1. Can you drive a muscle car with no hood? Helmet law, let's talk about that. What is this? Oh, weed near driver. Best hamburger in Toronto? That's a good question, although I do have some discussion about it. I have a full exhaust on a muscle car, okay. Part 3 summons, okay, we can talk about that. Heavy thumb stunt, what? Heavy thumb stunt laws. Let's see here. Oh, dad jokes. I don't have my dad joke calendar, but if you got dad jokes, I'll share them. Okay. Just scrolling back, flagging some vehicles, flagging some questions so I don't miss them. Passing question. Cancel your insurance policy without warning, okay. Green light questions for volunteer firefighters. Oh. Do you guys just traffic court, or do you guys also do what is this? I don't know what this is. We'll come back to that. Do you think increasing the fines? Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll go there. All right, let's go into the 16 questions that I flagged. So first off, was can a motorcycle use the HOV lanes in Ontario? The 401, the 400 series highways, single occupant or single rider motorcycles can in fact use the 400 series highways in the HOV lanes without having a passenger. That changed, I think, in 2007. So absolutely you can. That doesn't include all the multi-use diamond lanes in different jurisdictions. That depends on the signage. So we have what people call HOV lanes in the city of Toronto. They're actually bus or diamond lanes, and their use is governed by posted signs. So there, you can't just assume that you're allowed. You have to see a motorcycle picture on the sign. Can you drive a muscle car with no hood? If the vehicle was designed to drive with no hood, then you would be, and it was licensed for the road with no hood, then you could drive with no hood. Taking the hood off a car that was signed and or manufactured and certified with a hood, you should have a hood in that car. Could it be unsafe? It could be unsafe. Think about this. You hit a pedestrian, they get caught in the workings of your engine instead of, being deflected off of your vehicle. You're causing injury now. Oh, do you know what the section is if I get pulled over for a helmet cover, AKA bunny cover? Yeah, it's improper helmet. What is the section? Let me look it up for you. But it's the same section as having a helmet that is not lawful. Helmet. Failed to wear proper helmet on motorcycle, $110. Yeah, it's not a proper helmet. As soon as you modify it, it is not a helmet that is lawful. You've actually made it more dangerous, and it's a good thing that it's illegal. What is this? If you get charged for weed near the driver, what record does that go on? Can employers see it as a background check? I don't know, because it's the driver. Are you as the passenger getting charged for having it close to the driver, or is the driver being charged for driving? It's going to be on the driver. I think it's going to be on the driver. I've never laid the charge, but I believe that it's going to be against the driver. The best hamburger question in Toronto, I've not really been experimenting, but Brendan in my office, is like, he used to be a burger chef, and I'm sure he's really excited that I'm saying his name on the show. I'll have to clip this and send it to him. But we've been talking about smash burgers, of variations of burgers in the city of Toronto, and we have made a pact that we are going to go and tour and have the best burgers in Toronto. So I'll have to report back on this. But I really do like Burgers Priest, but I have not been in ages. I remember that when they were sort of like the first game in town, I was blown away. I thought it was amazing. I've not been going to the burger scene, but I'll be back. I'll let you know what Brendan and I come up with. What is the reason against the use of CB radios? So apparently in commercial vehicles, there's a permission or exemption for their use in commercial vehicles for handheld communication or walkie-talkie type use in commercial vehicles. It was something that actually somebody brought up on a live stream that made me look a little deeper, and I found what either wasn't there last time I looked or I never noticed. Because the only exemption that I had seen prior to was for ham radio operators, amateur radio operators that were licensed. I was schooled. I got news. I got information shared with me, and CB radios, if being used by commercial vehicles, appear to be legit. But I don't believe that they are for everybody. Okay. I have a full exhaust on muscle car. The faster I go, the louder it gets. Guy down the road, backfire is equal. Okay, you have a full exhaust on a muscle car. Here's the deal. Exhaust systems that meet the grade, or meet the grade when the vehicle was manufactured and licensed, are fine. If your vehicle creates reasonable noise based on its safe operation, that's reasonable. If your vehicle emits so much noise that it's unreasonable, well, that's not legal. So let me put it into perspective. Brand new Honda Civic. It's my go-to vehicle for this description. If you are redlining at 40 because you don't shift gears and you're making more noise than is necessary to safely operate that vehicle, you are choosing to operate it in a manner that creates more noise than is reasonable. If you were to drive safely and normally, you probably wouldn't be creating that noise. The same thing goes for muscle cars. Now, if you're on the highway doing 100, it makes more noise than when you're doing 20 on a side road. Well, that's reasonable. I hope that's clear as mud. It's pretty reasonable. Behavior is one of the number one reasons that unnecessary noise charges are laid, other than malfunctioning equipment. Hey, that's exactly. So here's the question from Chase. If you get a Part 3 summons for not having a front plate many times, what are the potential escalating penalties? Like, is it just a higher fine amount, or could they suspend your license? I don't think you can suspend your license. I think it's just going to be increased fines. I say I think because I've never seen this play out to a max. Usually it just forces you to go to court, and they can choose to take the higher penalty range. With these heavy thumb stunt laws, heavy thumb, yeah, I think these are pretty good. I think we should have heavier laws for just about everything, because people are just doing whatever the heck they want, and that's not okay. Have you seen a reduction in collisions? I don't know if you can directly correlate a reduction in collision to a stunt driving charge. Very often these charges, don't. There's so many people breaking the law, and that you may have saved a life is something you can't quantify. You can't say because I stopped person A, person D didn't die. Statistically, we were seeing a tremendous uptick in the behavior, and it's to stop the behavior, regardless of whether or not it results in serious injury or death. It's to stop the behavior, because we know, although not directly being able to say Bob did this, we know that kind of behavior leads to. But it's a very difficult something to quantify. Okay, I got a dad joke I'm putting in my pocket for the end. Let's see here. What are the consequences for passing a red light? That's called running a red light. Failing to stop for a red light. Not legal, obviously. Is it? Yeah, you know what? No, I think it's $320. Red light. Oh, lunch is being served. It's going to get very noisy here. Red light, red light. If it gets unbearable, folks, I'll end the live and we'll do it again tomorrow when I'm back in the studio. Where's red light? Red light, 325. I said 320? Okay. It got real busy here. Hungry people everywhere. Can they cancel your insurance policy without warning and unknowingly get caught? I think when they cancel your insurance, they do it by way of sending you a registered letter. Obviously, if your address is incorrect or you're engaged in insurance fraud, not living where you're not getting your mail, they send a registered letter. They cancel it. They do their notifications. Whether you continue to drive without knowing, I think it's on you. That's a private company situation. Volunteer firefighter with green flashing light. Is that a question or just a statement? But it is a thing. Let me know what you meant. Maybe it was in context of something I missed. Can motorcyclists use a straddle to get around traffic? I think what you mean is lane share or lane split. And the answer is no, you can't legally do that. That's against the law. It's either careless driving, stunt driving, or dangerous driving under the criminal code for doing that kind of stuff on our roads. It's not safe behavior. We know it's not safe, so don't do that. It's not safe. Interesting shadows happening based on the placement of my light. I can't turn it either. I'm sort of sitting. I set this up for podcasting. I didn't set it up for live stream. Yeah, different shadows if I move. How's the noise out there? Okay. There's like 300 people in and around me. I feel very, it's not really claustrophobic. It's busy. Man, it's busy. Okay. So the question was, do we go to traffic court only or do we go to SUVR? I don't know what that is. But we go to court. We go to any court. If we're involved with criminal matters, we go to criminal court. If we go to traffic matters, we go to traffic court. POA court. Do you think increasing fines on all HTA offenses will help deter speed or DUI? I think that not only increasing fines, but actually finding people guilty and holding them accountable as opposed to giving them deals in court, I think would really help. I think that if we took away your license for life for certain things would really help. I think if we put you in jail for certain things, that would really help. I think that right now we're really soft on these kind of behaviors. So I think that if we increase the consequences, we might motivate people who are doing really dumb things on the road to do fewer dumb things. I hate to say it that way, but it is, if we acknowledge that these behaviors are not legal and not safe, and yet people continue to engage in them, and then they don't get in trouble for them, well, why would they? What's the motivation to stop? Ooh, steam coming off of one of the hot plates. Yesterday was sandwiches, today looks like hot food. I'm easily distracted by food. Hey. No, don't worry. It's all good. Let's see here. Why are there new traffic laws on private property? There's not that new. They came out in 2021, I believe, on September 12th. And they were just a change to them. And the change was that private property was now falling under the HTA for the purposes of stunt driving. And why did it happen? Well, very simply, those people that were holding takeover events, they were doing... they were stunt driving and taking over events on the road, interfering with traffic, destroying property, being unsafe, breaking the law. Well, then we started enforcing them more strategically on road, but they'd go into private property. And they'd be safe from the perspective of the Highway Traffic Act offense couldn't be laid. They'd conduct themselves and destroy property there. And our option for what we could lay was limited. We'd have to go criminal dangerous driving, which was, of course, criminal code violation. And they wanted something that would have immediate consequence by way of impounding the vehicle and taking someone's license away administratively. So these were good things for us as the police and for the people who were being terrorized by the behavior of these drivers who were doing stupid things. But yeah, they were the people who caused these things to be were the takeover people. Okay. What's for lunch? I don't know. I see salad. I see some fruit and some stuff for dessert. I'm directly across from the dessert table, but all I see is people. I don't actually know what they're serving. Is it illegal to pass on the right, especially on surface streets? Passing on the right, so there's a misunderstanding about passing on the right. You can change lanes and go faster than the person who's in the left lane. That's not passing on the right, per se. If you're doing that passing movement unsafely, that's an unsafe maneuver. But if you change lanes and happen to accelerate and they were under the speed limit, you are doing the speed limit, that's not passing. You're not stuck behind the person. You can only go around on the left. That's a big misunderstanding. When you're talking about single lane roads in either direction, so bidirectional traffic, one lane north, one lane south, and there's a driver who's stopped to make a left turn or slowing to stop to make a left turn, and there's a paved shoulder, you're legally allowed to pass in that environment if it can be done safely. If it's a gravel shoulder, you cannot. And that's where passing on the right really comes into play. Tim Shallow says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Killer says, it's a seafood diet. That is what it is. And actually, today I'm meeting up with Joseph, who you may have seen his posted video recently where he went to and met the Prime Minister in his office because he wanted to get Putin, not Putin like Russia, Putin. Is it Putin or Putin? I don't know how to pronounce it anymore. Anyway, he did that video. We're getting together, have a bite to eat, and we're going to film something while we eat. It's going to be a food day. Is this his T-shirt? We're going to do some eating and filming. Is it illegal to drive slow on the highway? So the deal is that driving slow on the... I just realized I can do this. Hang on a second. Driving slow on the highway. Should I change this to... Is that a better camera? I don't know. Nah. Okay, tell me if this is a better one. I feel like I'm staring... No? I'm told no. It's not a better one. Okay, we'll leave it like this. So, what's the question? Much better. Good to know. You're not staring directly at my nose. So driving slow on the highway, there's unreasonable slow drive, unnecessary slow driving. And what does that mean? So if it's icy, snowy, slippery weather, it's not illegal to go slow. It's what's safe. In fact, you should be going the speed that is safe based on the road conditions. However, if the road conditions are fantastic and you're doing 20 on the highway, is that unnecessary? I would think so. That sounds unsafe and unnecessary. If you're doing 90 and 100 and you're staying to the right, is that illegal? No, that's not driving slow, that's driving lawfully. The problem is that people are so confused about the law because they're speeding every day, they think it's okay. It's not okay. You can't go above the posted speed limit legally, and if someone is going under the speed limit, they're still lawful. If they're doing 60 and a 100, that may not be lawful. That might be unnecessary, and it all depends. People say, well, keeping up with the flow of traffic. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I didn't know what you were doing. You're going to sit and eat lunch? You can enjoy.
They can watch me eat.
They can watch you. I can put a camera on you. There you are. You're on the stream. It's amazing. We had so many guys come by, guys, gals, people, officers who watch us. A prosecutor from one jurisdiction came by to say, "Hey, love your content." It's really cool hearing from people in the industry, in the policing industry, in law enforcement, say that they like what we're doing. So that's cool. So there's the answers about the whole drive slow business. All right, what do we got here? Seafood diet is the best and easy one, yeah. Can you pass on residential areas? What is this? Hang on a second. Sipping the cocoa diet. Can you pass on a residential street with a solid line? In the province of Ontario, it's not against the law to cross a solid line. The solid line suggests that it is not necessarily safe, but it is not a hard and fast thing. If you cross it and nothing happens, you're okay. If you cross it and cause a collision, you're obviously going to be responsible for that. Hang on a second. Had to cough. All right. Too close. It was too close. Michael says, wait, if I don't want a front plate, I can just keep paying the fine over and over and nothing else will happen to my license. My insurance company doesn't care about non-moving violations. You're wrong. They do care. Continued non-moving violations, like not having a license plate on, will, because they're minors, add up and you will eventually get insurance premium increases. They care. They may not tell you they care right now because it's a minor. They will care because that means you're not a bad person, but you really stink with following the rules. So yeah, that will escalate. And you're going to start seeing I think $500 is the maximum for that fine. So it's going to start going up and up and up and up. Can they suspend your license? I don't think they can unless you're not paying the fines. But it is really irresponsible to not be doing it. Now, could they be adding other fines, like trying to avoid ALPR? Maybe they'll come up with new charges to go with that. We're really going to see where it goes. Let me look up something. I want to know if there's any other consequences. Fail to display. So no person shall drive a motor vehicle on a highway unless there exists currently validated permit for the blah blah blah. Okay, number plates issued in accordance. Yeah, but I want to see. So let me open this. 71BI. Deep diving. 71BI. Here we go. So it's funny. That's not it. That's 7.1. Okay. 71BI. Historic reasons, self-propelled implement of husbandry, exemptions, permit. Come on, where's consequences? By the way, one of the reasons that I keep freaking out is people are rushing over to my left. So I have a garbage can sitting next to my desk. Never put a garbage can next to your desk, because every time they rush you, you think they're coming to attack or say hello, one of the two. I don't see the consequences here. Firefighters saying. Okay, too much work to find the answer to this, but there must be some escalating penalty there. I can't, but even then, $500 every hit, you are eventually going to see an increase. I can't imagine an insurance company not increasing your stuff. Hey, it's AJ the Awesome. Did you end up going to Hamilton? I did not. Unfortunately, everybody in my house got sick. I didn't go to Ottawa. I didn't go to Hamilton. I didn't. I was upset, but family being sick and unhappy at home, my place was there being sick with them, or at least being at home with them while they were being sick. I was on Dad. They're taking away lunch? I'm not getting lunch today. I may have to cancel the live just so I can get lunch. I should have got lunch before I went live. I made a mistake. Who needs food? I don't need food. Come on, scrolling, trying to find my current question. Oh, if my G license is suspended, can I use my M license? You have one license with different designations. If you get suspended on your G, you are suspended on all motor vehicles in the province of Ontario and anywhere. You're suspended, so don't drive. It's a good question. I don't know how I selected it because I must have accidentally tapped it. So, hang on. Okay, I sent it to. Oh, cool. I didn't do that. My magical moderator did that, who happens to be my wife today. And yesterday, and most days, unless I say it's JD, then it's not my wife, because JD is not my wife. Okay. What time is it? 10 more minutes. Oh, I went way too far back. Okay. Can I drive on Highway 78 since it's not a 400 series highways with posted signs of 80 to 90? So if you have a G1 license, this is really when it comes down to. You're limited on a G1 or M1 to speeds that roads that have a speed limit over 80. However, there are a couple of exemptions, very specific highways that are listed in your manual that are exemptions. So if you live in a jurisdiction or in an area where you cannot avoid those streets, that's the only way to get home, then you'd be allowed to drive on those roads. Akela hasn't eaten today. Oh. Someone made a TikTok on how they got convicted of stunt and their insurance is so expensive that they just rent a car instead of, they charge $12 a day for insurance so they don't get. That makes sense. I know someone who got in a collision. One of my very good friends for years rented a car because it was cheaper to get insured after his collisions. He got a bunch of collisions. Tinted taillights, headlights. It's specifically prohibited to tint your headlights. It is not specifically illegal to tint your taillights. However, tinting them makes them less than legal because you are obligated to have taillights that are discernible at 150 meters. Obviously, we will be the judge of whether they meet the grade. How does the passing lane work on highways? Can you go over the posted speed limit? No. Posted speed limit is a posted speed limit in all areas, all lanes. There's never an exemption, not for passing, not for emergencies, not for having to go pee really, really bad. You're not allowed to speed legally. And you can be charged, and you should be. Okay. What is the proper distance between cars? I say at least 2 car lengths. It's not car lengths, it's seconds. We don't measure distance we don't measure the distance between vehicles in car lengths because it changes based on. I have to ask. Hang on a second. I have to ask a favor of someone. I've asked someone, I've deputized someone to make a plate of food for me so I can actually eat something when we're done the live stream. Seconds. So usually it's 2 to 3 seconds behind, depending on the environment. I think it's 2 seconds for regular streets and 3 seconds for highway. The idea is that as you go faster, you need more space because it takes more time and space to stop. So that's the thing. They measure chevrons. Who measures chevrons? But yes, chevrons were a way. That's for timing. But you still use seconds, but chevrons were the marker for determining the time. I think that's what you're talking about. Are you allowed to wash your car in the driveway? Depends on the jurisdiction you're in. Every municipality makes its own rules. Can people be pulled over for not having their lights on at night? Yes, of course. In fact, that's how I found most of my impaired drivers over the years. People forgetting to turn the lights on is a great indicator. Chase says, did you just ask him to make a plate from the lunch table? He's like, I knew it. You're so on the money. Let's see here. What is this? Is there a law? Thank you very much. This one's mine. Otherwise, I've been drinking yours all day from home. Ooh, they made it. That looks good. Whatever they had is awesome. Better than nothing. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't understand this. So I've never run an event like this, but when people are getting coffee, and while they're still getting coffee, they start taking the coffee away. They start taking the cookies away. Lunch is being served. They're removing the food while people are still getting lunch. I know they're on a time clock, but like wait till they're... Anyway, my rant is over. Okay, what is this? Hide that. I'd get a nasty look if I tried to ask someone to make food. You're the best, brother. Thank you. So I muted the audience for a second while I asked you, and then someone says, I wonder if he's asking someone to make food. I came back and said, I asked you to make a plate, and the response, Chase was like, I knew it. And by the way, it's Brian Thomas who's see, this is lunch. Yes, there we go. This is the it's magical.
You need.
I got taken care of. I really appreciate it. So Brian is of course on. What is your username? YYZ Traffic Cop on TikTok. Check him out. Follow him.
Anyways, I saw the question because I was monitoring.
Oh, you were monitoring it? Which question was it? Did you have the answer for it, or you had a question for it?
I didn't hear all of it, but it was regards to individual with a front plate that just gets multiple.
Yes. So do you have an answer?
Well, we do have the ability to
To summons.
Yes.
Okay.
Summons. So if I see multiple.
Here, go on the mic. You're live.
So if I pull somebody over and I have access, and I do have access to the record, and I see multiple same violations over and over and over again, where there's conviction after conviction for something as simple as failing to display a front plate, then I do have the ability to escalate the circumstance through a summons and give them a court date and allow the courts themselves to escalate the fine or whatever other sanctions that the court seems or wants to apply that's appropriate in the circumstance.
So that's what I suggested. The question is, was there a maximum, and was there a potential where they could say, you're losing your license? Like, what was the maximum consequence for...
I think it can actually be like you can lose your license up to 6 months, a $2,000 fine, and if it's continuous, they could even put jail time. The limits from the courts is very broad, but of course everything is balanced. The JP, the Justice of the Peace and that will look at it and do escalated sanctions. But if there is a complete and utter disregard for the law on a continuous basis, you could actually possibly face jail time.
Chase says he loves your TikToks.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see here. Aren't front plates more dangerous for pedestrians because of sharp metal objects?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have an earphone. So
Oh, yeah. Well, you can throw them on. You'll just hear me better.
yes.
There's nobody else. Ooh, that's hot. Let's see here. Give
I
me
gotta
some-
spin it properly. No, I can't. Oh, I know what I'm doing incorrectly here.
They don't come with a manual.
There we go.
Can you hear
They
me
didn't
better?
come with the manual.
So the statement was, aren't front plates more dangerous for pedestrians because they're sharp metal objects?
No, I would
good
say,
try.
I would say the vehicle itself is by far more dangerous than anything attached to the front.
Yes.
Can't hear yet.
You cannot? You can't hear them. But you
No, I
hear-
can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No.
Really? 1 second. How about
Ah,
this?
there we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. You're on feed 3, not feed 2.
Okay.
Eventually, trial and error hits up. Okay. What's the process to become a breath tech? Because he knows you're a breath tech.
Oh, well, you have to take a course. It is done. The course itself is governed by the Center of Forensic Science. So they're the one that establishes specifically the course criteria within the province of Ontario. And the course I took was actually offered through Ontario Provincial Police. So I went to Aurelia headquarters and took the course through that. And they teach you the laws and legislation affecting the Intoxilizer 8000C, the instrument that we use here in Ontario. And after the conclusion of that, we get examined and tested to make sure that we meet criteria. If we pass the course itself, then that information is actually given to the provincial government, and we have to be gazetted, meaning
Published.
published in the provincial gazette as being a qualified breath tech. And then after that, you have to maintain your qualification through annual recertification.
It's a big deal.
It is a huge deal because you're operating an instrument that eventually could lead to a criminal conviction.
And we were talking earlier with the folks from Draeger, and they make obviously the scientific instrument that you use as a breath tech, as well as the roadside screening device that we employ. And it's a big difference between the roadside screening and the one that actually will be used to create evidence to put you potentially in jail.
Yes, so the roadside screening device is what we use to elevate our suspicion up to reasonable grounds, and then to believe that a person has taken enough alcohol within their body to reach a point of a criminal level. And then we would read a breath demand and use the Intoxilizer 8000C in order to establish the specific blood volume which can be used evidentiary.
I love it's good words. Oh, 12:30. I'm screwing up. I got to go on the radio now, guys. We're gonna switch over. Thanks for hanging out with us, and
Thank you.
we'll chat soon.
Okay, we'll talk.
Hello there.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for popping into the stream.
Yeah, no problem. I was like, am I on the right one first? I was confused for a second, but
Yeah,
I'm
who's that
glad
guy?
you're here.
I am here. To the audience listening, I'm like, we are actually joining the Kelly Contreras show, and time. That's why I was stopping at 10:30 or 12:30.
All good. So we got a little bit of time here.
Cool.
Just a little over 2.5 here, and then you're going to be on with Kelly. Give you a minute heads up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.
So as you just heard from Control, we're joining the Kelly Contreras show at 12:30, and it just worked out that even though I wasn't paying attention to the clock, they popped into the stream, which is awesome. Okay, that means I can actually hit the button here, and I can say, "This is the Kelly Contreras show," and that's Kelly. We will be joining them live on the air at 6:40 Toronto AM radio station. It's awesome, but no more questions, unfortunately. At least we'll be wrapping right after the segment. If you want to, oh wait, can I change this? Can I move this? No, I'm not going to mess with it. And Mrs. Shapp, no need to stay if you got to go. It's all good. We're easy flying from here. Oh, and the radio feed is too loud, so I'll turn it down. Thank you for the heads up. That's exactly what was happening last time. So we will we'll turn it down, and I appreciate Akela the feedback on that. We'll have a good, yeah. We usually do 20 minutes, so we'll be on for another 20-ish. Call it 30. What was the point of MAS being introduced? Isn't it pretty obvious when there's signs of impairment which could then allow you to use a breathalyzer? Great question from Chase. And the big thing is that It's when there's no signs. See, if I have suspicion that you have alcohol, because I have odor of an alcoholic beverage, or if I have admission of consumption, I can just make a demand. No problem, based on suspicion. It's when there's no signs, there's nothing to make us believe. We're just going to test everybody. It's absolutely free of bias. We're testing everybody. It's easy peasy, right? We catch a lot of people who have more, very often it's people who have a zero BAC.
About a minute here, Sean.
1 minute? Cool. That's the deal. So when we catch people who we had no idea, we'll come back and answer a couple more. A friend just walked by watching the stream and showed me that he was watching the stream as he walked by. We're just waiting for the radio. We're kicking on. We'll be live on air in a second. It's good, good. It's the final countdown.
You're listening to the Kelly Contreras Show, and that, of course, is Crosstown Traffic. Jimi Hendrix, that's the theme song for Sean Shapiro, the TikTok traffic cop, which who joins us every Thursday at this time for 2 segments. We open up the phone lines for you at 416-870-6400 if you're listening at 640 Toronto. If you're out of town, if you are, it's in town for you, but 900 CHML listeners or 980 CFPL listeners, 1-800. I just blanked on the number. Yeah, thank you. 1-888-225-TALK. There we go. Sometimes that happens. You ever get a brain fart? And it's just, everything's shut down. That just happened live on air. All right, anything can happen. Sean Shapiro's here, a TikTok traffic cop. Welcome back, Sean. Great to have you on the show.
It's always good to be here.
Where are you? You're on location somewhere.
I am on location. I am at the Drug Recognition and Enforcement Conference. There's police officers from across the country here talking to the leaders in the space to better understand and keep up with the new trends when it comes to alcohol and enforcement. And
what do you mean, the latest drinks?
No, it's the trends in drugs and that are basically making their way to common use, and how to see the signs. Also talk about new equipment and the ways of dealing with folks who are combining drugs with alcohol and different drugs. So I myself am not a drug recognition expert, but they are all in here, the masters of that area, talking and sharing notes.
All righty. Well, I want to talk about some sad news off the hop here. This is just a terrible story. A 9-year-old girl was struck and killed by a delivery van yesterday at Bathurst Street and Steeles Avenue in Vaughan. And I just feel heartbroken for the parents. I feel heartbroken for the 22-year-old driver who remained at the scene, did what they were supposed to do. No charges have been laid as of this morning, but it is just a devastating story. We don't have a lot of information. We don't know if it was speed related. We don't know if this was a situation where a kid runs out on the streets. But is there anything you want to tackle with regard to this story? Because it's just a heartbreaker.
It truly is heartbreaking. And I don't know anything about this particular case other than what I've been seeing in media. It's one of those things that there's no preparation as a police officer to prepare when it comes to kids. It hits us on a whole different level. It's still a life, but it's so much harder when it comes to children. And I feel for the families and those affected, because it's entire communities. I mean, recently we had a tragedy affecting one of the children in my kids' class who died, and the entire school was mourning.
Sean, really... I got to cut you off for a second. I know we've got you on Zoom. Is there any way to reach you any other way? Because you are cutting in and out. If I could explain what it sounds like you are inside a fan.
Oh,
like it's
terrible.
Not background noise. It's just a severe in and out. And if I was listening right now, I'd be like, I can't handle this.
Okay, good to know. Yes, I'll make sure the producers have my number, or if they want to email me, I can call in right now.
Okay, so we're going to take you off that line, and hopefully somebody can get in touch with Sean. They have his number. Who will set him up again, because it is frustrating. Listen, I'm not just a host, I'm a listener, so I get it. And what we want to do is, if we're going to communicate an idea or talk to a guest, we'd like it to sound as good as possible. We are in the audio business, and so, we
Sure,
try
I'm getting
and
feedback from our people
make
that,
it so
that
you
my
can
stream
hear.
is coming
It's just
through
one
okay,
of
so we're
the
not sure why it's happening.
one of the perks of being in the radio business. So we're going to talk about that with Sean. That just what a tragic story. Can you imagine? I mean, that's a game changer right there. I'm watching a courier pull into the Chorus Key right now. They're going the speed limit, but just anything can happen. Anybody could step out, and then your life changes, their life changes. So many people attached to you.
We're not sure why this is happening, but we're going to take the call that's coming in right now. Or we're going to try to anyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
leave the
package for
feed.
me. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So there's speaking of places where you won't be able to move quickly, busy Toronto Street will shut down for months, and it's going to start. I know you hate hearing this. Monday, October the 2nd. It's a stretch of Adelaide, which was one of the best ways to get across the city. Adelaide, Richmond. They used to be like it was a no fail. Those were your two east-wests across the city. Well, they're going to close it down because of streetcar track replacement along this area, and it starts next week. Crews will begin installing the tracks and work on underground utility vaults at these intersection of Adelaide and York Street, and that's expected to be closed, that intersection, until the end of October.
It's not working. Okay.
What's the best number to reach you at?
Oh. Hey, though. All right, folks. We're having technical issues. I'm going to sign off here and join them on the air by telephone. Okay, we'll try this. They're calling the wrong number. This is turning into a disaster. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. regular time, and I'm going to go figure out this whole business. Talk to everybody soon.